The Psalms of the Bible, as well as other biblical texts, originally were written as lyrics for the human voice, but for centuries the music for these lyrics was thought to have been lost. A musician in Paris says she's found the music, and it was in the Bible all along. Suzanne Eichventura first announced her discovery 10 years ago, and she produced a book and recordings to back up her claim. But it wasn't until this month that the modern-day premiere of King Solomon's Song of Songs finally took place. Luana Parker has more on what some scholars say is the original music of the Bible.
I will lift up mine eyes unto the hills, from whence cometh my help. Psalm 121. The music in the Bible isn't only in the Psalms. The entire Old Testament is an immense vocal score. The melodies were composed about 3,000 years ago, but for centuries, until recently, nobody heard them. The musical notes are right there in the Bible. They're small symbols placed above and below the Hebrew text. They've always been there, but until recently, nobody knew that's what they were. They look like some of them: a right angle, an upside-down horseshoe, a diagonal line, an S fallen on its side. There are 20 altogether. Scholars thought they were there to indicate pauses, because there's no punctuation in the Hebraic Bible. Some people thought they might be musical notes, but until Suzanne Eichventura came along, nobody knew for sure. She's been compared with Champollion, the French archaeologist who deciphered the Egyptian hieroglyphics on the Rosetta Stone. Ventura, a French musician and composer now in her late 60s, is convinced she's discovered the original music of the Bible.
I never had to add a note, never subtracted one. That's the essential. It really is the music of the signs.
The opening of Lamentations. The first person who ever sang this music in public, based on Suzanne Eichventura's discovery, was the director of an Institute of Jewish Studies in Paris. Dr. Benjamin Duvshani had seen her record, The Music of the Bible Revealed, in a store and bought it out of curiosity. Later, for Israel's Independence Day, he sang the Lamentation of David in a Paris synagogue.
And before I got to the end of it, there were about 600 people crying. It was incredible. I've never seen such a thing in my life. So I understood that there is something in this music which is fantastic.
The Jews have always sung the Bible, but each community has its own way, based on an oral tradition handed down over generations. I asked Dr. Duvshani to sing for me, first the way he was taught in his community, then according to the music of the Bible revealed by Eichventura.
הצבי ישראל, על במותיך חלל, איך נפלו גיבורים, אל תגידו וגת, אל תבשרו בחוצות אשקלון, פן תשמחנה בנות פלישתים, פן תעלוזנה בנות ערלים. This is how I would sing it in my community if they wanted me to sing those verses. Now, what happens with the music of Eichventura? You want to listen to it? Yeah. הסבי ישראל, על במותיך חלל, איך נפלו גיבורים. אל תגידו ורב, אל תבשרו בחוצות אשקלון, פן תשמחנה בנות פלישתים, פן תעלוזנה בנות הערלים. Which is absolutely different. That's a new way of giving the Bible character, emotion, and everything.
In the basement of a Baptist church on the left bank of Paris, Suzanne Eichventura is directing her choir in a rehearsal for the concert. It took her 4.5 years to decipher the meaning of those 20 signs in the Bible, a process she finds virtually impossible to explain to non-musicians. I asked Eichventura if she'd ever felt like giving up.
Yes, I thought it was too difficult and that I'd never see the end of it. I was overwhelmed at times, literally overwhelmed, from fatigue, exhaustion, and discouragement. What kept me going was that from the beginning there were marvelous texts, and I love this music so much. I felt it was marvelous to give back the Bible its soul, the soul it lost.
Although Ike Von Tura has an impressive list of scholars who support her, others say there's no way we can be sure. But whether or not this is, in fact, the music of the Bible, some people, such as Robert Bosquiero, the soloist who sang the role of King Solomon, are willing to accept her on faith. He says he's found spiritual food in this music.
What is mainly important with that music is that it's, from Mrs. Ike Von Tura point of view, the music that David and Solomon and all the kings and all the Jewish people sung in their days, you know. So there's something more special about it than just singing Messiah, for example, by Handel.
The Song of Songs, the world premiere, according to Suzanne Ike Von Tura, of the original version, just as King Solomon wrote and composed it almost 3,000 years ago. It took place in an echoey 17th century church on the Ile Saint-Louis in Paris.
The Song of Solomon is marvelous on different level because it's the part of a king, Solomon, singing to a queen, the queen of Sabbath, you know. And so you've got a man and a woman, and the words are wonderful, and you can imagine them very human basis. But it's not only a man and a woman, but it's God and His people.
May He lavish me with the kisses of His mouth, for sweeter are your caresses than wine. For National Public Radio, I'm Luana Parker in Paris.
This is NPR's Morning Edition. I'm Bob Edwards.